Hey guys, AlexVGC here. So this is going to be my best of 3 with Andy, otherwise known as 2016Huskies. He is running his Peli Poly team, and I'm running my Driftblim Lele team. So Andy, he cut Portland with his Peli Poly team, and I cut Salt Lake City with my Driftblim Lele team. And I know that my team has a pretty good matchup against his, because my Driftblim color, it runs Sunny Day, which can cancel out his weather. So let's get into game 1. So he leads Pelipper, a Poliwrath, and I lead Driftblim Tapu Lele. Turn 1, I know he might Tailwind with Pelipper, so I decide to go for a Sunny Day and switch my Lele out into Kartana because of the possible Poison Jab from Poliwrath. So I Sunny Day, and the Poliwrath goes for a Waterfall onto my Driftblim and does minimal damage. And then I learned that it's Life Orb, and he Tailwinds, so he didn't necessarily hit me with a poison move, but I'm still in really good position. I detect with my Kartana to take any incoming fighting moves from Poliwrath. I want to keep my sash intact, so I Tailwind and detect, and he did the right move, and he Ice Beamed into Driftblim, and he Waterfalled into Driftblim as well, but because of the sun, I lived on 2 health, so I realized that it's a good idea to double up into Pelipper, because it's a good chance that he protects with Poliwrath because of the possible one-hit KO, and he predicts this and goes for a physical fighting move on my Kartana, which almost brings me down the sash. But I'm definitely in the better position this game. He brings in his Lele, and I decide, okay, I want to sack my Driftblim off, so I detect Kartana, and I Will-O-Wisp into the Poliwrath, but it misses, which is really unfortunate, because as you'll see in a second, he belly drums with Poliwrath. He takes out my Driftblim. Yeah, and he belly drums with Poliwrath, he's at now at +4 with Poliwrath, he predicted pretty well with that move. And then his Tailwind peters out, which is really good for my team. So I switch in Arcanine, which I know can take out the Lele with nice Flare Blitz, and I know I can outspeed the Poliwrath with a Leaf Blade and KO it. So I KO the Poliwrath, giving me an attack boost. So I'm +2 now with Kartana, and I Flare Blitz into the Lele. Clean one-hit KO. So now it is a 3v1, and I do not know yet what his last Pokemon is, and now that it's Kartana, I realize I have the game, because Arcanine can just take on Kartana. So he Sacred Swords into my Kartana, getting a Beast Boost, and I know even if he Sash, he can't kill 2 Pokemon at once, unless he is Razor Leaf, and that might not even KO, based on my HP. And so I Flare Blitz into Kartana, and it's not Sash. So it's most likely either an Assault Vest or the Nails item. Yeah, okay. So yeah, Scope Lens. pretty, I know that was... So let's get into game 2. He leads Pelipper Kartana, which is a pretty good lead against my Drifblim Tapu Lele. I know it's a good idea, so basically I know most of the time he'll go for Tailwind. And so basically I Will-O-Wisp into Kartana just in case he goes for a Smart Strike, but he switches out, predicting the Will-O-Wisp, and switches into Lele. And so the Will-O-Wisp misses, which isn't like the worst thing, but yeah, so he Tailwinds up with his Pelipper, and I Psychic into the Pelipper, dropping it down to Sash. I know I can Revenge Kill the Pelipper, or not Revenge Kill, but KO the Pelipper with Shadow Ball next turn. And so he Thunderbolts into my Drifblim, and that does a nice chunk, and it paralyzes me, which gives me a chance to not hit the Shadow Ball, but I break through Paralysis and kill off the Pelipper. And I Moonblast into the Tapu Lele. It does a good 70% and drops the special attack, which is really good for me. So it was more of a trade-off with RNG. Oh, the Kartana is a really good switch-in. So I realized I need to sack off my Drifblim, so I protect my Lele, and I expect a Smart Strike, but he actually Thunderbolts my Tapu Lele, which is a really interesting play because most of the time you Thunderbolt into the Drifblim and then Smart Strike the Tapu Lele, but he did a good play and Night Slashed into the Drifblim, getting himself a Beast Boost. This shows that he's probably AV because not many Kartanas that are Scope Lens run Night Slash. So he switches out Lele and switches into Poliwrath, which is interesting. And so I switch out my Tapu Lele into Arcanine, which is pretty good, and Intimidate on both Kartana and Poliwrath is pretty good. And I Detect with my Kartana, and he Smart Strikes into my Arcanine, which does minimal damage. His team's Tailwind peters out, which is good for me. He Brick Breaks into the Kartana. He doubles into my, which crit doesn't matter really, but which I hung on with my Focus Sash. And he wins the Speed Tie, which is unfortunate because if I won the Speed Tie, I might have been able to clinch the game. Because if I won the Speed Tie, I'd kill Poliwrath and Flare Blitz into Kartana. I'd still lose my Kartana. Actually, no, I wouldn't lose my Kartana. I know, yeah, I would lose my Kartana because he's Sacred Swords, but then I'd kill his Kartana. Yeah, so then it would be a Lele versus an Arcanine and a Lele. So the Speed Tie did matter, and so it's a Poliwrath and Lele versus Lele and Arcanine. Andy is in the much better position, so I know I have pretty much lost at this point. So he Psychics into Arcanine, showing that he might be Scarfed. And he Poison Jabs into my Poliwrath. Sorry, he Poison Jabs into my Lele, doesn't KO. So I know damage calc, he won't KO me in one hit with Poison Jab from Poliwrath. And so I Psychic his Poliwrath, and now it's a 1v1 Lele, and his Lele outsped me before. And the real teller is that he uses Psychic again, so he's probably Choice Scarf. So yeah, so I lose game 2, and so we're going into game 3 now. So I know Driftbloom Lele is pretty good against this team, so I don't really switch up the lead this game. I know it can deal with really anything on this team. So he leads Poliwrath Pelipper, same as game 1, and I've been leading every time I've been leading Driftbloom Lele. So I realized that every time he sent out Pelipper, turn 1 he went for Tailwind. So I realized that if I'm gonna do, I might want to keep up with the speed. So I know he most likely is not gonna Waterfall because the fact that I can Sunny Day. So I decided to Tailwind, match Tailwinds before I Sunny Day. So as I predicted, he went for the Tailwind, but I wasn't expecting the Poison Jab because I could have switched in my Kartana. That would have been a good switch in, but as I seen earlier, he wasn't gonna Poison Jab, but in game 1. So I Sunny Day, which removes the fact that Hurricane will be 100% accurate and Waterfall will do less damage. He Poison Jabs into my Lele, and it brings me to red. And it gets the poison, which is really unfortunate. But another fortunate thing is that he misses the Hurricane, and I Psychic into Poliwrath. But unfortunately, because of Life Orb damage, it will kill off my Lele this turn. But I don't mind because I can get a free switch into Arcanine or Kartana. Each of them will be pretty good in this situation. He sends out his Lele, so, and I send out my Kartana, which is really good for the situation. So I Shadow Ball into Pelipper, breaking the Sash, and I realize it's a 2-hit KO. My Shadow Ball, and he breaks my Kartana Sash, and I Smart Strike into Lele. So getting the KO, but I know he's probably going to be targeting my Kartana with a move because he wants to get rid of it, and he Ice Beams, which is really unexpected. You don't really see Pelippers with Ice Beam, mostly just Scald, Brine, or Hurricane. And so I know that Arcanine and Lele and Driftbloom can really take anything on his team, and he has Kartana, so that's pretty much GG because he can't hit me with a water move. Because he doesn't have a water move. He has Hurricane and Ice Beam as his moves. And so I Shadow Ball into Pelipper, getting the KO, and he Night Slashes into my Driftbloom, which doesn't do too much due to Intimidate. And I Flare Blitz, which takes game 3. I want to say GG to Andy, or 2016 Huskies. I hope we can have another game later. And I thank you to everyone, and I hope you subscribe, comment, like, whatever the YouTube garbage. Okay, bye.